My name is Veronica and my company is called Sacred Offerings, and I offer different ideas that come to me just out of the whim, I guess, about different topics. And today I want to speak a little bit about effortlessness. One of the things that we are experiencing as we are moving closer to what I would say oneness is the sense of effortlessness that we get to enjoy. Effortlessness is not something that you can necessarily grab or do or attain, even through practices. For example, oneness is something that we truly are. We are that. Effortlessness is the same thing. We are that. When we think of a concept or an idea, we often want to grasp that with a very specific way of holding on to that idea. For example, we like the idea that we understand gravity and it brings us to Earth, right? And yet there are some concepts and ideas that start to lose gravity, that start to lose their weightedness as we move into the higher realms. Effortlessness is one of those. So what you may be experiencing is being more in the grace, being more in the flow of what is. When we think about little babies when they are born, they move, or their bodies move. And sure, there are scientists and doctors and such that can explain what makes our brain do certain things and how they make connections to make our bodies move. And I'm absolutely not a scientist, so I won't even pretend to be. However, the baby isn't thinking, geez, I have a pain in my shoulder and I need to tell my mom and therefore I'm going to cry, or geez, I'm hungry, I need to keep her up all night, I want to bother her by screaming. Instead, what the baby does is it simply responds. It simply moves into survival mode, cries, lets the mother know that it's hungry so that it can be fed. When I move my hands, when I move my body, sometimes I do it specifically because I've thought of it. If I'm trying to, let's say, choreograph a specific move for a dance, then I might think, okay, I want to do this next, let's say. Or I'm talking and my hands are doing things, but many times we just do things. Our hands are moving. We are experiencing the flow of life, and we're not thinking slowly and certainly what it is that we want to do to make our body move in a particular way. Effortlessness is the subtle area of that right there. It is effortless for us to breathe. And I'm talking about healthy people. I'm not talking about, oh, you had a car accident and you have to be on life support, or, have to make my brain retrain itself to move my body. Generally speaking, effortlessness is who we are. Our body flows blood through its system. Our heart beats. We breathe. We move. We think. My goodness, we think without effort. We're constantly thinking. What we are noticing right now is that we are starting to move more and more into what I would call the grace of effortlessness. By simply being aware of what already exists, by simply allowing what is already happening to be in our beingness, that is effortlessness. We are manifest. We are creative beings. We are creativity in expression. We don't have to do it. We don't have to force it. We don't have to make it. Now, there are many, many ways that we can argue with this. There are times that we are, let's say swinging on the swing. And sure, somebody can push us and make that swing move. And other times we can lean back and we can kick our feet up. And the more we do this action of swinging, the higher and higher we can go. We can also simply enjoy the swinging. Okay? There is an ebb and flow to all things, to the seasons, to the tide, to energy. And we are that. What we are experiencing more of is the sweetness of not having to try so hard, not having to do so much, not having to effort, even in terms of manifesting. A lot of people have ideas about manifesting that they need to create a vision and set the intention and make that happen. And that's lovely. And we can also simply allow the creative beings that we are to bring itself that which is perfect for itself. There is always a perfect order to things. There is always the flow and the grace. So what I would like to offer today are suggestions to tap into that effortlessness. And one of which is to simply notice your breathing. Notice it. Not force it, not do any kind of yogic breath for it, but simply notice. The other is because these energies are so intense and so beautiful, etc. What is the most effortless thing we do? We sleep. So you may need lots of sleep, and I suggest getting lots of sleep right now. Tuning into our heartbeat, not hearing it with a stethoscope, not trying, but simply tuning into what's already happening. You can do that in your life, looking around. What's already happening? What's already in the flow? Where do you not have to work? It's sort of like the idea of seeing the glass half full or versus half empty. What I'm asking you to do is actually looking at the emptiness. Not emptiness in, oh, poor me, but emptiness as in, what are you not doing? Where are things falling into place and flowing that you don't have to work at, that you don't have to try? And the more you bring awareness to that, the more you may notice that it is expanding. We are expanding as we are moving closer to oneness, closer to the sweetness of who we truly are. It is truly effortless. And with that, I am so grateful to have spent this time sharing with you an effortless energy of what is. Thank you.